You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact you might not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. They make it super simple. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with coverage options tailored to your choices. Plus, you'll see which discounts you may qualify for, like the online quote discount or savings for paying in full. In fact, 99% of Progressive Auto customers earn at least one discount. See if you could save when you switch to Progressive. You'll feel good about making a savvy choice. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little extra cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Buckle up, gals, and keep your arms inside of the car. The snippet train is leaving the station. Welcome to Sobriety Snippets for Women Over 40, where we elevate our mindset to trade hangovers for higher consciousness, one powerful snippet at a time. I'm Becca Jacobson. We have a brand new week in front of us, gals. Love Mondays, love new beginnings. And this week, we're going to continue with weekly themes. The last couple of weeks, we've had some themes. And this week, we're going to do the same. And we're going to talk about thoughts. Specifically, today, I'm going to talk to you about overthinking. Overthinking. Have you ever been accused of overthinking? Have you ever accused yourself of overthinking? I'm willing to bet the answer is yes. We're also going to talk today about the value of using our thoughts as investments. In other words, using our thoughts to create a better future. Right? Why not take advantage of the fact that we're always thinking anyway? So that's today. Wednesday, we're going to talk about new ideas and how to not surface dwell. And surface dwelling is something we talk about here in Snippet Land. I'll talk more about it on Wednesday and how to take advantage of new ideas. And then on Friday, we're going to talk about that internal dialogue, that infernal internal dialogue, that never-ending internal dialogue, and how we can best make use of that as well. So we got a nice, juicy week ahead of us. But before we start, if you're new here in Snippet Land, welcome, my dear. If you're over 40 and you've got everything going on, but then there's alcohol dogging you, right? Just dogging you on your heels all the time. You're looking over your shoulder and there it is. This is where you belong. That's what we tackle here. We learn how to live happily, alcohol-free, how to grow emotionally into the women we were meant to be, and ultimately make this the best chapter of our lives. I know. Isn't that exciting? I'm just like, yeah, that's what we're doing here. So welcome. So glad you found us. And to those coming back, thank you for being snippet lovers, my dears. Guess what? Before we start, I do have an announcement. I'm really excited. Gals, we're doing another book study next week. If you don't know, here in Snippet Land, we periodically look at key personal development books. We don't sit down and read them whole book, cover to cover. And we don't talk about the whole book cover to cover. Instead, I pull out key quotes from the book for you, and we talk about how to apply them in our lives, in our particular specific journeys. So the way women approach these is some of them buy the book and read it ahead of time. Others just follow along. You can just listen to the snippet and you're fine. So you can go to any depth you want on this. And next week, we're doing another Becca's Bookshelf. Becca's Bookshelf, where we take it from the page to practice. That is how we avoid surface dwelling. So get ready, gals. Next Monday from Becca's Bookshelf, we are doing, you ready? Ready for this? I'm excited about this one. We are going to do Shakti Gawain's Creative Visualization. That's Shakti Gawain's Creative Visualization. This is a really easy read. It's very, very practical. She has a lot of actual practices in there we're going to talk about, but the concept is profound and simple, how to use your imagination. So if you want to prepare for that, go ahead and grab the book, enjoy, and come back next Monday for Becca's Bookshelf as we go from page to practice with Shakti Gawain's Creative Imagination. And if you don't want to buy the book, that's okay. Just show up on Monday and I'll talk you through it anyway. All right, gals. Today, thoughts and overthinking. Thoughts and overthinking. I have a very, well, like everything, I have an opinion. I have a very strong opinion, let's put it that way, on thoughts and how we use them. And you could say abuse them. Gals, the truth is, in my universe, most thoughts are useless. We give so much value to them. This thought, that thought, most of them are completely of no value whatsoever. In fact, if you pay attention, what you'll notice is your mind is simply repeating what it said yesterday and the day before and the day before. The mind is a recording device. It's very, very handy. We need it so that we can learn things and we don't have to learn how to drive every day or tie our shoes every day, right? Right? Obviously, we need the mind, we need thoughts to learn, to grow. But gals, come on, there's a limit, right? And what we find when we start paying attention to our thoughts is that it's just the same thoughts over and over and over again, repeating yesterday, reminding us of last year or when we were 10 or when we were 30 or whatever it is. Thoughts come up and they repeat themselves and they're of no value. We're not gaining anything from it. And here's the worst part about it: thoughts bring emotions. The minute we have a thought, it brings an emotion with it, and that can be our total downfall. If we're just allowing any old thought to pop up, brings with it an emotion, changes our mood, ruins our day. Honestly, seriously. It's it's like, what is going on? Well, it all started with a thought, or worse, it starts with our unwillingness, or maybe not unwillingness, our not knowing that we can have better control of our thoughts, that we can be intentional and willing and say, "Wait a minute. You know what? I'm thinking anyway. Let me use the thoughts I'm thinking to move forward in my life." Now, this doesn't have to be a massive effort, although I will admit in the beginning, when you take on a practice where you want to control your thoughts, it can be quite exhausting. It really can. I mean, come on, we're on autopilot. The mind is just going. Most of the time, we just allow it to go. And you know what? We don't even really half the time hear what it's saying because it's always on, isn't it? Always. And that's why we drink. That was certainly why I drank, just to shut the mind down. It's going, going, going. The damn thing wouldn't stop. It's the end of the day. I'm tired. I've worked hard. I just want to relax. And there's the mind going. So, of course, a drink is very helpful for that. And in fact, it's one of the main reasons we drink. Because if we can control and settle our thoughts, our emotions settle too. So we're anxious or we're worked up in one way or another, and alcohol works. So if we can take this and learn how to use our thoughts without alcohol, wow, right? There's a lot of power in that. There's a lot of opportunity in that. So we want to learn how to take advantage of our thoughts. Here's another problem many of us face: overthinking, right? So we're successful, we're educated, we're leaders, whether we're leading our family or we're leading at work. Most of the women that I meet are showing up for life. And that requires thought, of course. But if we're just overthinking and spinning a problem in our mind and it's not getting us anywhere, it's a waste of our time and energy and it's not getting us anywhere. So there are many, many ways we can start to use our thoughts to better advantage. And one of them is starts, of course, with awareness. And that's what we're talking about today. If you're overthinking, I always encourage the gals in my world to have what I call a hook phrase. A hook phrase is simply something that you can return to when you recognize that you're in the middle of overthinking or you're looping thoughts or looping, looping, looping. And then the problem with that is you recognize it. And then what can you do about it? Well, then you start thinking, oh, I shouldn't be thinking. Then you're thinking that you shouldn't be thinking. And then you're thinking that you shouldn't be thinking that you shouldn't be thinking. You get what I mean, right? So, in the moment of overthinking or looping thoughts, it's very difficult to just stop it. Just saying stop can help, but not for very long. You'll find the mind going right back to where it was. So, we create what I call a hook thought or a hook phrase. I've shared mine here before on the show. I've been using the same one for years. And now, when I hear it, my nervous system automatically settles because it's so ingrained. My hook phrase, meaning the phrase that I default to when I recognize that I'm overthinking or my thoughts are looping. The thought that I use is, I relax and put aside all mental burdens. I relax and put aside all mental burdens. And when I say that, I'm automatically exhaling. I like this one because it's exactly what I wanna do in that moment. I wanna put aside the thoughts, the mental burdens, and they are burdens. The mind, it just brings on more and more burden. It brings with it emotions, memories we don't want, that we don't need to dig up again. We're trying to live life, and there's the mind going off on a tangent. So I love this one. I take a nice deep breath and I just whisper or just say it mentally. I relax and put aside all mental burdens. Now, you can use mine. Please, if you want, take it. It's my gift to you, or create your own. But I really encourage you today to take a moment and create a hook phrase that you are committed to learning and using. Now, this requires intention. The women in my group, I have them do this, and then we share it with each other and remind each other, oh, are you using your hook phrase? Or when we do use it and it works really well, gals will come into the group and say, oh man, today I used my hook phrase and it really helped. So I encourage you to have one. And that requires taking the time to find one that works for you, make it really short, really simple, and really intentional. I relax and put aside all mental burdens. I'm not asking myself to do anything in that phrase except stop, right? Relax and put it aside. That's it. That is why I love that one so much. But I've heard lots of hook phrases. There's no limit to what you can do here. But of course, we have to start by being willing to create one. So when you've decided on your hook phrase, start memorizing it immediately. Put it on little sticky notes here and there. It won't take you long to memorize. This is very short. Mine's actually a little bit long. The phrase could be much simpler. It could be something like, you got this, babe. That's a hook phrase. That's it. Just, you got this, babe. Or take a breath, girl. Take a breath, girl. That's a hook phrase. Anything, make it short, make it simple, and then begin memorizing it and using it and practicing it. Just say it over and over and over until it becomes habitual. And then after you've done that, honestly, the hardest part of this is remembering to use it. We just forget, and that's okay. In the beginning, you will forget. That's why we're going to use some sticky notes. You're going to put them up to remind yourself. But I want you to have this always in your back pocket. I've been carrying around that hook phrase in my back pocket, metaphorically, of course, for 6 years. I relax and put aside all mental burdens. It just works for me. When you get to the point of automatically going to your hook phrase, your subconscious will start to cooperate, and so will your nervous system, meaning it will instantly settle the nervous system, and the mind, the subconscious part of your mind, will instantly recognize, oh, wait a minute, this is calm time. You don't have to think any of those thoughts. You don't have to try and settle the nervous system. It will happen automatically. But of course, as I say, that requires practice and deciding you want to do it. So that's something I encourage you to think about today. Get yourself a hook phrase. But whatever you decide, let's be more mindful of what we're thinking and overthinking. Recognize that most thoughts have no value at all. They're just looping. And more importantly, we can recognize that because we're thinking anyway, we can be intentional and we can start to use our thought processes as an investment in our future. And that's what we're talking about Wednesday. Because if we're got to think anyway, my God, we might as well make it worthwhile. And that's one thing you cannot stop. Every human on this planet is thinking at all times, unless they're comatose, which alcohol does a pretty good job at doing. But we all know it just doesn't work, does it, long term? It's temporary, and the cost is way too great. But I'll be honest, that's what I used it for all those years, trying to forget memories from the past, events from the past, trying to forget things I had done that I was deeply ashamed of, trying to forget the trauma that I had been through, trying to forget, trying to forget, trying to forget. Alcohol, alcohol, alcohol. Honestly, gals, I tried. I did. Over 30 years, I tried to make alcohol work. It just doesn't. I don't have to convince you of that. You know that. I'm glad you're here if you're wanting to transform your relationship with alcohol, your emotional life, your past, your future, your present, and build the best damn chapter of your life. Because it's the only one we have left, and it's a really beautiful time of life. That's what I've discovered. I've discovered, wow, I'm really happy to be in this phase of my life. Last fall, I turned 60. And instead of it being a milestone of fear and thoughts of aging, it's been so far, bar none, the best year of my life. And the interesting thing when I look back, my 30s were better than my 20s. My 40s got better than my 30s. My 50s were better than my 40s. And there's no question in my mind that my 60s are going to be wipe them all right off the map. We do that through intentional growth, and that's why we're here. And I'm determined to bring as many of you as possible with me on this journey. So this week, gals, stay with me because our goal is to be investing those thoughts instead of spending them. I love that phrase, that thoughts should be an investment instead of something we spend. What's the difference between spend and invest? Spend is just to throw away. We expect nothing in return. We just give it away or throw it away. To invest means we expect a return on our investment. And that's what we can do with our thoughts. Instead of just letting them just be there and round they go, wasting time, bringing on emotions that are difficult, we can invest those thoughts and they will actually bring back a return in the future in the shape of a healthier body, healthier emotions, a better life, the best chapter of our lives. So this week, that's what we're talking about. And on Wednesday, we're going to specifically look at new ideas and how to avoid surface dwelling. And don't forget, gals, next Monday, the 18th of May, we are opening up Shakti Gawain's classic book from the 1970s, Creative Visualization. That's Creative Visualization. You can get it on Amazon. You could probably find it in a used bookstore too. It's funny, that book, I came across it by looking through my husband's bookshelf, and there it was. My husband's in his 70s, and in the 1970s, he was collecting some really amazing, amazing books that are really serving me now. So together, we're going to look at that one. If you haven't heard of it or read it, I think you're in for a real treat. Like I said, you can either get the book or just show up on Monday and we'll go through it. We're going to look at key quotes and we're going to talk specifically about how to apply the concept she's giving us to enhance our personal journeys. And one more thing, my dears. Did you know I have a free WhatsApp group? It's called Snippetland, and you're invited. I'd love to see you there. This is a free, open community where gals just like you gather and share the journey and support each other with love and compassion. I tell you, one of the most powerful things to figure out on this journey is that you are not alone. No matter how successful your outside life looks, if you're struggling with alcohol, you have a sense of loneliness that very few people have experienced. But I have, and so have the other women here in Snippetland. So join us in Snippetland, the WhatsApp group for women just like you. You'll find the link in the show notes. Thanks for popping in. Be sure to come back next time so I can keep your head on straight. Sending you buckets of love.